to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
The air in the average subway car is 15% human skin.
I told you an interesting fact.
And I didn't listen to you.
Not a gross one.
That is true. And this is Nathan, entertainer extraordinaire and all-around good geek, and a friend of ours. Welcome to the show, Nathan.
And I'm Cameron. Just to cut you
Yeah, I was
off
going to say,
there.
you got a really mediocre, like, usually people clap or something.
I know, right?
Oh, there, thank you.
Try this again.
I'll be here for the next half hour.
Yes, there we go.
Exactly.
You got this.
Y'all should go to Twitter and use the hashtag Geeks Corner. That's hashtag Geeks Corner to talk at us tonight. If you talk at us, we might talk back.
Probably will.
Yeah.
Because Maddie is back.
Yeah, Maddie's
She
back.
was world
Hi.
traveling last week and disappeared, and it was a difficult thing for
It's
us.
true.
But
We
she
missed
was
her.
having fun. All right, let's get into the show, huh?
Let's do a show.
All right, we're going to start with Comic-Con, where they announced...
Sorry, what is a comic con? You said convention, I assume.
You tell us.
Is it like obviously, stand-up comedians get together and discuss their craft.
Exactly, except this time they're talking about Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
There's Jerry Seinfeld is in Phase 4.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I actually would like to see that.
me.
What's the deal with superheroes?
I was going to say, he pulls up in some fancy car, and he's like, I'm taking Doctor Strange to go get coffee. And then they just drive away.
I just started imagining him doing all of the new cameos, but even more subtle.
Yeah, I would love it.
Showing a poster in the back.
Yeah.
That was
want
my
it.
best Seinfeld
Standing in
post.
front
Is
of
that
a-
good?
Honestly, it was great.
Thank
Maybe
you.
he just finds a bunch of brick walls in every movie and just stands in front of them and does a stand-up.
I know one that they could film in front of. Just around.
MCU? Are you listening?
Yeah, you could be
Come
in-
film here. Right
That
now.
was fun. All right, so movies coming out. You're into the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
I
right?
am.
Okay, what's your favorite Marvel movie?
Ooh.
Oh, this is so hard.
Don't mess up. Don't mess up.
Don't give the wrong answer.
There is some
Oh.
wrong answers.
There are
I mean, I've got a whole ranking of all of them,
Well, what's
What would
at
be
the
number
one
one?
spot? Yeah.
and
Or a top 3.
number one is Endgame,
Okay.
Good choice.
Okay.
That's all choice.
Yeah.
and then number two is Ragnarok.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. 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 Okay.
Number three is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yep. There we go.
Okay, that's
Solid.
that's
Top
pretty-
three.
I was
Good
just
job.
watching you
So hard.
intently go,
You didn't
are you
mess
going to
up.
say Spider-Man? Are you going to say
Iron Man,
Spider-Man?
I mean,
Iron
Iron Man
Man
is in two of those three
Endgame.
movies.
Okay.
So
So we got a bunch of new films and shows coming out from Marvel. You guys have had a chance to look a little bit at them. I'm not going to hit all of them. What are you most excited about? First off,
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy choice.
this actually I think is Universal.
No. Marvel Cinematic Universe. Universal had the rights to those for
It
a long
actually is
time.
going to go beyond that for this movie. Love conquers all, Cameron.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Hopefully death, so that the goddess of death comes back. That's my prediction anyway.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That would make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
That would. All right, what are you excited about with this movie? Nathan first, and then go down the line.
More Taika Waititi madness
Yeah.
and humor and Korg just doing his thing.
Question on that.
What a ship.
Cameron did an article a while ago about 8 things that he doesn't like in movies, and I believe one of them is when directors are in said movie. What if they're a CGI character?
I think that might get a pass.
Does it? Because he's actually one of my favorite characters
But no,
in
that's
all of the MCU.
He's brilliant.
See, I think the annoyance, and I kind of spell this out a little bit more in the article, is when they make it super apparent that they are the director of the film, and they like stop the film or like turn the cinematography so you notice them. The example being
They kind of did that in Ragnarok. Like,
Yeah, I mean, but like he's playing a good character. If it hadn't been Taika Waititi, that still would
That
have
is-
been a good character.
okay, I'll give you that.
Whereas Peter Jackson, if it wasn't, it would have just been a dude eating a carrot for some reason. Like, I feel like that's the turn. Like that's if you could have replaced it with a different actor, and if it was still a good role, then pass.
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah,
Good.
that's
So glad we
fair.
all
That's
agree.
fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's very
That's
fair.
fair.
That was
So,
a good role.
continuing on, what are we excited about with Thor: Love and Thunder? He's looking at you.
Don't
now
look
it's
at
your
me.
turn.
No.
I mean, I know what my answer is, and you can't take it, so
I
because
probably...
you don't agree.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
So-
don't agree with that.
So what are you excited about, Katie?
I don't know.
You just like Thor?
Yes, and I like Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This exact spot just got to be 100 degrees. Probably because everyone was looking at me.
Proximity, I'm assuming.
I did write about Thor 4, and I do love that Taika has
7
gone
years ago,
from
our Asgard forefathers came to this country.
going from Ragnarok to 4 to this. I think that there's going to be a very cohesive storytelling and a very cohesive theme, I guess. It'll be all thematically very similar. And Tyler's yawning, so I'm probably getting very boring with what I have. Tyler normally doesn't like what I have to say. But yes, I'm excited. No, it's true. It's a thing. It is. But it'll be very cohesive, and I'm excited for that.
I agree.
Thank you!
Wow, you guys agreed. It's
Aw,
End of the world.
friendship.
you know what? World
In-game
peace is
now.
possible. We just learned. Go ahead, Cameron.
Yo, Padme's getting a hammer, son. Like, it's gonna be so good. It's
I
gonna
will
be
say
cool.
the photo of her holding it is very
She seemed
cool.
genuinely surprised, like, oh, the hammer. Oh, that's right, that's me. Like,
Just
oh.
wait. Yeah, I think that's gonna be epic.
I have predictions. It's interesting she's able to come back. We kind of discussed a little offline with the rough exit she may have had from the last time she was on there, but I think that makes it all the more promising for the role, honestly. If Taika Waititi was able to convince her to come back, then obviously they're going to be doing some very interesting things, and I know a lot of the interesting things that she'd be interested in is much more female empowerment in the film and much more feature. It's not going to be some throwaway, by the way, we have Lady Thor at the end of the thing. It's going to be a prominent feature of the film, and I'm really excited to see Natalie Portman get totally shredded and kick butt. Like,
Yeah.
She said she's going to.
she's gonna have to. Like,
Yeah.
it's a requirement. And the best part is that there's a ton of predecessing lore from the comics. Interestingly, the first example of which is a what if from, I think, like the 70s.
Which is another thing that's
which is
coming.
another thing that's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole recent line for, I think 2014 is when they did this comic line of where Thor got, it was Jane Foster that took over Thor. And they got really confusing with it. Thor being a title and a person, and Thor the person existing at the same time as the title. I'm interested to see if I'm nerding out hard. If Thor will take the title of Odinson like he did in the comics.
Thank you, I was going to bring that up.
So he actually drops his name. He goes by Odinson. Also, an alien takes up the mantle of Thor for a while there. When he has a really dumb name and I can never remember it.
It's not Beta Ray Bill.
Yes! Beta Ray Bill.
That was already teased in Ragnarok.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
His head's on the Grandmaster's tower.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but an alien becomes Thor. If you go look back far enough in comics, everybody kind of takes the hammer at some point or another. But yes, I'm very, very excited for it, and I like that they're pulling directly from some very interesting comic book line stuff.
So, of all the new movies for Phase 4 that they've announced and shows, do you think this is the one that, 4 years from now, we'll still be talking about?
I feel like 10 Rings.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the new major
Yeah.
thing that's going to
That's
be worth
honestly.
it. Yeah.
All right, talk about it.
Why am I talking about it?
You brought it
You're
up.
awesome.
I feel like the person who knows the least about the MCU.
Do you know about 10 Rings?
I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
A little bit. Well, so
Open up the door.
So the movie ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Well, I mean, ShangChi is an interesting character because he's not really got any superpowers. He's just like a master martial artist, and that's it.
Really,
Like,
really good.
yeah. He's like the best of the best.
Yes.
I mean, you've got Danny Rand over there being the Iron Fist, and he's got the dragon and stuff, so he's got the magic fist. But he's
And he still beats the Iron Fist a couple of
yeah,
times. in the
ShangChi
comics.
is more powerful than the Iron Fist.
Yes,
so
it's awesome.
That's awesome. And then the Ten Rings thing, they've been hinting at for, well, it goes all the way back to the original Iron Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then Iron Man 3, you have the Mandarin, who's the leader of the Ten Rings, but it turns out to be it's just an actor. And then we were talking earlier, there's the one-shot thing on the Blu-ray for Iron Man 3 where it shows Trevor Slattery, who's the fake Mandarin, in prison, and they're like, oh, there's actually a real Mandarin, and he's not happy with you. And then it kind of cuts off there, and that's it. But now they're finally kind of making good on that tease from forever ago.
I feel like that in this series they've been doing something really smart, which is planting seeds with no idea how they're going to let them grow.
Yeah.
That was one of them, and there've been a couple other ones where I feel like they throw it down with the assumption they'll figure out some way to use it later, and to the point where they've had to also go negative on that with the the left gauntlet from the Infinity Gauntlet, having to say is fake, that was shown briefly in the Asgard's treasure room. So they throw out all these seeds, and
It's keeping your options open.
There's got to be somebody whose job is literally like, here's the list of things from the comics we've referenced that we could totally use.
Well, have you seen Far From Home yet?
No.
Okay. There's things in, I won't spoil anything, but there's things in that are like,
busy.
There's some of the deepest cuts that they possibly could have made. And it's like, okay, I never expected this to make a return.
Door has been opened, huh?
Well, and to make reference to that and the what if that is coming back out, that is one of my favorite things about the comics, is that not only do they have these like deep cuts for really referential things, but with the opening of What If in this animated form, they're also going to be able to explore all of these other really wonky things they've been able to do through history.
Well, isn't it brilliant that they can do this too? Because I feel like with What If, they can almost use it as a teaser to test things out on audience in a safer environment than putting out a however many, what is it, $100 million movie. And I'm like, oh, well, this is definitely reaching people. We should build more on that in phase 5 or whatever. I thought they were done with phases.
No.
That was only a phase.
Oh, okay. I thought Kevin said that.
It's just a phase.
But
I think they had talked
you
about...
trying to be invisible again?
No, I said it
I
was
think
just
they
a
had
phase.
talked about it at one point, but
Okay.
they've obviously come back to it.
Or they're just misdirecting us for Avengers Endgame. I don't know. I don't either. Anything else that really stood out? Like, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be fun, but I'm not like geeking out over it necessarily. It's like,
Well, those are
time I'll watch
the
it.
two Captain Americas.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how much they're going to explore the kind of rivalry between them because of that.
I think it'll be a fun.
See, and they passed it off as kind of a very acknowledged Bucky handing it off to the Falcon in the film. But in the comics, there's been some tension there. So that could be fun.
When they had him on stage at Comic-Con where Sam walks out with it, the Falcon walks out with it, and then he hands it to Bucky.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, cool, I have it now.
And it's like, that's Gun Captain America right there. By the way, I refer to Bucky only as Gun Captain America because it's Captain America with guns.
Future noted. And then there's the Eternals coming out.
Which I know very little about, admittedly.
same.
I looked to Guardians for it, because Guardians was another one of those kind of offshoot series that not a lot of people had a lot of knowledge of, but because of that, they were able to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. I'm intrigued with the casting for it. Like,
It's got a pretty amazing
it's
cast.
a stellar cast. It'll be really interesting to
diverse
see
as well.
what they say. Steven says, I'm interested in Doctor Strange title, largely because they've already teased
We haven't even talked
about
that.
multiverses from Far From Home. Don't tell us. Now the title involves it, and I want to know if this is an important factor in Phase 4. I'm sure it is.
My comics knowledge tells me that the current Spider-Man, that's a red herring. But yes, multiverse, the dark direction with Doctor Strange, love that, and it's much more appropriate for the character.
You agree?
And it's gonna be horror.
I think I'm not a horror movie fan. I don't like scary things at all, but
But you'll still go see it.
I'll still go see it, and I'll probably scream and maybe cry a little bit or something. But
That's okay.
Yeah, I
So are you.
I like just the concept of, especially because Scott Derrickson, the director, after he did the first one, he talked about how the one villain that he thought would be a good idea for a sequel to Doctor Strange, I believe they're called Nightmare, who is like the ruler of basically the nightmare dimension, or fear dimension or something
They
like
being
that.
the operative term, it's a
Which is perfect for
This.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like Dormammu, like he's just a
kind of.
Yeah.
But to speak into that, and you're absolutely right, that having a horror direction, well, there's two kinds of horror, and this is what I'm really hoping for. There is jump scare horror, which I assume they're not doing, and there is the kind of horror that it doesn't really matter what the rating is. By the end of the movie, you have to think about it, and then you're still up 3 nights later thinking about it. That's the good kind of horror, and that's what I assume, and that's really what the comics are much more focused on. So hopefully that.
Yeah, I just like where it could go. Like, my concern after the first, actually, every time I've seen Doctor Strange is like, well, where do you go that it doesn't take you too far? And I think,
Where do you jump the magic shark?
right. And this seems like it's something that makes sense and works, and you can imagine moving forward. All right, let's move on. Anything else super big from Comic-Con you guys want to hit on this?
Loki's gonna be fun, and I like that title treatment.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I actually feel like a lot of those are gonna be fun, of those kind that are actually
Yeah.
more of the classic characters, I guess you could say. And the ones I'm really intrigued by, I think, are the newer stuff coming in.
Well, what about the Hawkeye one where you get to see him be like the evil Hawkeye basically from Endgame?
Ronan? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
You're
he's
bringing
got a
back
great
Lady
arc,
Hawkeye, basically.
but I think Mr. Daps is exactly correct in that. I feel like we've seen enough of that.
It'll be fun.
It'll be great.
I think we're going to love it, but I'm not as intrigued by it.
Yeah.
There's Lady Hawkeye too.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's the same reason we didn't need to see Han Solo.
Another, I think, actually one of the biggest stories to come out of San Diego Comic-Con, though, was DuckTales.
Woo!
Thank you. It's a thing.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Perfect.
nail it.
They are expanding basically the Disney Afternoon Cinematic Universe, for lack of a better
It's
love
the
it.
dumbest phrasing, but it's so
No,
good.
I love
But
it.
that's all you can do to describe it. So they're
Yeah.
now hitting. It looks like from what came out of Comic Con, they're not only hitting DuckTales, Tailspin, Goof Troop,
Yeah.
Rescue Rangers,
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Am I missing any? I feel like there might have been more.
Gummy bears?
Do
King
they
Louis.
hit Gummy Bears?
Gummy Bears
That's-
would be. It has the best intro song of any of those cartoons. There's a key change
That's
halfway
another
through it.
debate, but yeah,
Yeah, that's wow. Okay.
if
I
they're
don't know that I
hitting
agree on
every,
that one.
I'm looking. Yeah, I don't either. But
There's a key change. There's a key change.
DuckTales has a key change.
yeah, it does.
Does?
The full
It does.
extended does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking in the actual intro. What they
No,
showed
because
on
they
television.
shortened the intro for both of them.
But this
and
key change still made it in for the Gummy Bears one.
not in the Daily Day
Oh, I
ones,
thought
just
it was.
season one. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure.
Deep cuts.
They're pulling in DuckTales the movie also, and I think we're hitting everything.
And Lin-Manuel Miranda. I know he was already there, but he's still
He's
there.
going to be there more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be there a lot more. What do you think about this new? Oh, it looks like we do have. The Wuzzles.
Oh, yes. I remember this.
That itches a part of the back of my brain I haven't scratched in a long time. That's
Then you have to wonder: are they going to go to like Bonkers and?
bonkers. Oh, that brought back some memories.
Oh, he's yelling.
Oh,
I don't like
But
it.
you have to wonder, like, how far into the afternoon are they going to go?
To at least 4:15.
and then the news starts and it gets boring.
Yeah. Which characters and Daisy Duck's coming?
Yes. Pretty much Mickey Mouse is just not invited.
Yeah, it's all of his friends, but not Mickey.
Mickey can't come
What
to
are we
the
most
party.
excited about with DuckTales? You haven't seen it yet, so this is unfair,
Yeah.
but you need to see it. It's really good.
No.
I was surprised. I was a huge skeptic. You didn't see it either.
I've
All
seen
right,
one
we're gonna-
episode of DuckTales
we're
my
gonna
entire
move
life.
Right along.
But Goof Troop though.
But Goof Troop, though.
The best father in all of Disney.
Did you see Goofy's outfit in that too?
Yeah, it's
like
pretty
the
good.
orange sweater and the bow tie.
he's going hard, Dad.
I will
Yeah,
It's gonna
say
be great.
that
It's
poster
amazing.
is my favorite thing. It's really good.
They did a really good job. You guys have homework now to watch DuckTales so that we can talk about
Woo!
it.
We started.
Keep going. All right. Mickey celebrated 40 years of Disco Mickey this last weekend, and voice of Mickey Mouse, who sat in this chair. once upon a time,
Congratulations.
Wow.
Brett
I am
Iwan sat right here.
so
Yeah.
honored.
was on hand to celebrate it. My question is, and Cameron might be the only one to have an answer for this.
Oh,
I think
no.
I gave you the Disco Disney record at
You
one
did.
point.
I read
Yeah.
this article.
I actually almost brought the record player out here tonight to play it on the show, but then I was like, that'll take too
I
much
was
time.
gonna say, I'm like,
I
I
would've
remember
died.
having that. Oh, I gave that to Mr. Dash.
You did. What disco song would you like to see Mickey and Minnie Mouse dance to?
All of them.
What song that exists currently, or
Any disco song.
Disco DuckTales.
It's pretty good.
That is very good, but I thought he was going to say Gummy Bears.
No, so you're
Disco
talking
Gummy Bears.
any song, make a disco version of it with which Mickey can dance to, not
Yes.
necessarily a
A
disco
disco song.
song.
Exactly.
Okay,
It could be a
makes
disco song,
difference.
but I'm expanding upon.
Black Hole Sun. I want to hear a disco version of that.
I just want to hear that period.
Yep.
Okay.
Just
In my eyes, in this bones. It's gonna be so good.
I have no idea.
What's your favorite song?
Favorites, it depends on the day, maybe even the hour of the day.
How about at like 9:49 on a Tuesday night?
That's right. I mean, that's a good time to
a
pick
good
from.
time.
No pressure.
There's so much pressure.
No pressure.
I've got nothing.
Okay.
I've got nothing.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We will keep moving along then, because we got lots of show to go and not a lot of time.
No.
This last week was Disneyland's birthday, and with that we got 2 cavalcades, one for the birthday and one for the day after, that continued to come back. And it got me thinking, we have tons of Disney characters that we've seen, but we've had even more that we haven't seen. What characters would you like to be seeing in the park in a cavalcade or different show that you normally don't see? And if it's a different show, what would it be? Ursa's a good one.
Can they already have some kind of presence in the park in some fashion, like
It can
character meet and greet of some sort?
Sure, but I'd prefer a little bit more rare. I mean, I think if you were to choose Robin Hood, he's kind of on the rare end of things, and I would accept that.
Okay.
If they're people that you see at least a couple times a year, or you see Robin Hood a couple times a year.
You do.
Yeah.
The oven from Beauty and the Beast that scares the pants off of all of the humans who come
See,
to attack.
that's a good. And
I
what
love
The
would
one that goes.
and how would what would the
I
show
love
be?
that.
What's that?
Would it be part of Food and Wine in one of the cooking segments, or what?
Oh no, I was thinking parade just rolling along and halfway through just lifts off and just starts flame throwing.
Yes.
It'd be great.
It'd be a showstop.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Would
I'll
also
I'll
the,
suggest that.
Like all the
Please,
forks and the
please
would
knives.
the
do.
dresser jump off the
Yes.
off Main Street?
Yes.
All right, Katie, character.
Yes to all of that. I can't top that.
You don't have to. Just go a different direction.
I want to see, going off of what we saw at 90s Night, Atlantis, if we went off of that and
Sure.
did that like a unit. I don't know what the show would be.
All washed up.
Yes. But just thinking about how excited, and that was one of the highlights of 90s Night, was definitely them being out and meeting and greeting. And so I think that would be very well received. And I think it would be a lot of fun for everybody.
Okay.
I think we could go real deep cut here.
Ooh.
The Star Wars Christmas special, Chewbacca's mom.
Oh, the teeth.
Everyone.
The teeth in the apron.
All right, guys.
No.
Show's over.
That was well played. Did you see? Was it? I think it was Jon Favreau in an interview last week made a comment about how the Mandalorian is the first TV show since the Christmas special from Star
The
Wars.
first live action one,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
They've
so
all been
he said
animated.
we've got a real high bar or something to meet. Or
Wow.
How are you going to top B. Arthur? Like,
You
You
can't.
really can't.
You really can't.
happy life.
That was
day,
good.
everyone.
Well, see, the problem is you went to Star Wars and I was going to Star Wars too, but yours is way better because I was saying I was hoping there'd be an Ewok takeover of Galaxy's Edge.
That sounds terrifying.
That would be awesome.
I mean,
He's just stuck on the Yub Nub thing.
it would definitely
Wouldn't
add
it
some
be
life
hilarious?
to certain parts
yeah.
of it.
I think it'd be
I
hilarious.
think that's scary.
It is a little bit, but it'd be fun.
It'd be fun until we're on a fire.
Well, no, they would attack.
Well, no. Yeah.
I just want to see them attack the First Order. And
Oh,
have
okay,
the, and
that's
have
fine.
the big like.
They're just up on
logs come
the
in.
scaffolding.
Yeah, and murder them.
throwing
Yeah, that'd be
knives.
awesome.
Well, they'd be rubber. It'd be Disney magic.
Magical death. Yes.
I think you could recreate the Battle of Endor on Batuu, and it would be
Battle of
hilarious.
Batuu.
Including the death of
Can
Wicked.
we-
What are we doing here?
So we could easily petition for that to be a new kind of entertainment.
I think it'd be great.
New entertainment offering, a recreation of the Battle of
It's
Endor.
interactive.
One day, every lucky guest gets, a little surprise.
And then, if the Ewoks win, they play Yub Nub over the fireworks. Go ahead.
There's no other natural fauna that we see on the Ewoks' moon homeworld. And the first
We
reaction,
don't know that it's not there.
and the first reaction that they have to encountering humans that they don't know is to attempt to cook them. Shortly after the Battle of Endor, we see many empty skull
yeah.
helmets.
They
being
definitely
played.
do.
They definitely ate all
They-
of those stormtroopers, right?
They definitely did.
Like they definitely ate all those stormtroopers.
Definitely.
100%.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure
Cool, we're all on the same page.
Ewoks eat stormtroopers.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Healthy diet.
At least we know they're on the right side.
Yeah.
Bailey says that you should bring back the Sword in the Stone ceremony so that we can have Merlin, which I love that idea as well.
Yeah.
Also, I'm so glad that we are more exciting than getting a couch.
It's true.
Yeah.
She's
That's our
having
bar.
to be-
She gave up couch shopping for us
Yeah.
tonight.
Woo!
Wow.
That's
Amazing.
really great.
Teleport
Hear that, Mom?
hi.
It's a
We
big
did it.
honor.
Tell your cat we
Bailey
love
would
him.
like to also build on my idea of the Ewok Takeover Batu and add Porgs into that.
No.
So it's a Porg and
Boo.
Ewok Takeover Batu. I actually
Bad
think,
idea.
I think if you were to put them together, they would work really well together.
No. No. Why are the porgs there?
An
To
autobiography
support
by
the
Kate.
Ewok.
Why are the porgs there?
Because they couldn't CG them out.
That's true.
Wow, wow.
That is very true. All right.
If you Photoshop a porg into the set,
That would be amazing.
Tyler Marie.
Disneyland Paris.
Thank you.
It's Elizabeth. Tower of Terror at Disneyland Paris is getting different experiences.
Spooky.
You can explain this, right?
No.
You can't explain this?
No, I can't
So
explain
when you
this.
go on different times,
Yeah, there'll
you're
be
gonna
different variations of experiences.
variations and a
of
different
Twilight Zone
storyline.
shows. Yeah.
Yes.
And what do you think of this? And what would you like to see? Like, if you could pick, like, go beyond what they actually do with the stories right now. Did you ever watch Twilight Zone?
No.
Okay, you need to.
shameful.
The new one's good too.
I have two.
Go.
One, they
While you
definitely
do that,
need to
I'm gonna
do
help
the Last Man on Earth, There Was Time Now bit, except that in the end he just gets mad and cuts the lines to the elevator and drops you. You're familiar with that, right? That was time now. That was something. I assume they're also going to do. There was something on the wing, the Kirk one that was there. But more importantly, there's an episode about halfway through the run of the original Twilight Zone where a transient gentleman wants to be Santa, and he finds a magic bag that gives out the presents to everybody once, and he gives out everything to everyone without getting something for himself. The end of the episode is him finding out that he gets to be Santa. I want that because that would be heartwarming, and I want it. It's my favorite episode.
And where's the dropping part happen?
That's when the homeless man comes down from the alcohol.
Okay, got it.
Boy.
Just a question.
No, the dropping was me with the ball on this side.
I just like to imagine that you just sit there, and then
It's over now, bye!
to say at the end you just nicely come down. People are like, oh, okay, I feel happy though.
I got a bag.
The dropping
Witness,
is
if you will.
the
No way
dropping
to
is
end
you
this
are
particular story. Goodbye.
you are Santa coming down the chimney.
Yeah, but it's like very nice and slow,
Yeah, nice.
and the door's
Controlled
open.
descent.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Our final story for the night is Avengers Endgame has surpassed Avatar.
Sir.
Yeah, it did.
It has become the #1 box office movie of all time.
Not counting inflation for Gone with the Wind, but that's a different subject. Gone with the Wind, if you count for inflation, blows every other film out of
That
the
is
water.
actually
That's
true.
accurate.
But
It is.
I was gonna say, but when people want to argue about re-releases, that's the reason why Gone with the Wind made so much money.
Yep.
Is because
Yeah,
that was in
ran
a
for, like,
time
years.
where you had to go
Yeah.
out and see it and pay money to see it. So of course it got re-released and re-released and re-released. But that's a different subject for another thing. Avengers Endgame beat Avatar. I had to take that one. I'm so sorry. I see that argument a lot. And
You
All I can say is
Bring-
good job, Zoe Saldana.
Yep.
yeah, it's true.
She's the real winner
She's in
of
like the
all
top
of this.
3 movies or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's ridiculously awesome.
Endgame, Avatar, Infinity War,
Infinity War.
and
Our hearts.
Star Trek did not get up.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry. Do you think Star Trek is in
I
the
was just
top
thinking of
5?
other movies she's in.
We do love her.
Anyway, was this a surprise? For one,
I'm not surprising, but kind of a nice. Oh, they did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was how I felt.
I was surprised it took this long. I
that
thought
was
it.
my surprise.
I thought it was
actually.
going to happen quicker based on the initial just rampage that movie was going on.
It beat
Not to be
Titanic
confused
in
with the
10
actual movie
days.
Rampage, but yeah, it beat Titanic in 10 days, and it blew out every other record that really
Yeah.
had ever been set, and they
So my big
kind of needed
question
that
with
extra
this-
little push at the
and
end.
maybe you can answer this for me, is how did Avatar get so big?
That was so when that came out, I remember I
didn't see it the first time it came out.
That was the first movie I think I think it's the only movie besides Endgame that I've ever seen 3 times in theaters. And it had nothing to do with the fact that I liked it, because I don't think it's a good movie. It was
Is it the visual intrigue, or is it the?
I remember it was there was just such a
It's a spectacle. It's
it was
what
a
is.
spectacle.
Yeah.
There was this
Okay.
big. It was the first movie. It was the first like live action movie to use the new 3D
Convincing.
that was going on, because Meet the Robinsons was the first movie to feature the new 3D that wasn't the red and blue lenses.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
trying
they
to-
still have that. It's polarized. You just can't see it anymore,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
film doesn't look like it's purple. And so you had that element of it, and then there was just this whole. It's the first movie by James Cameron in forever.
True.
And he has been wanting to make this for 15
Anybody
years,
know
but
why he decided to become a movie maker?
I don't actually.
Because he saw Star Wars. Anyway, keep going.
Isn't that all of our stories?
And
But
He was a truck driver, I think, before, and then he saw Star Wars, and he was like, "No,
James Cameron was a truck driver. I would watch that movie.
Is that really be okay if the director
I could
does
be
it?
wrong. Somebody hopefully on the internet can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was a truck driver, saw Star Wars, had this like, if I'm ever going to make movies, I need to start doing it now.
Wow.
Career change, go, and then
Yeah.
however many years later, was it 20 years later, you've got Titanic, and then
15
Avatar.
years or whatever. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was. I
He's
remember
still towing trailers to this day.
there was all this talk about I've wanted to make this movie for years, but we didn't have the technology to do it, so we had to wait, and then they finally got it, and then they.
and Disney already beat them to it.
But then they. So,
Pocahontas.
oh yeah,
It's Pocahontas.
it
in
is.
this case.
It's
It is.
Pocahontas.
And Fern Gully.
And
And Ferngully, so, yeah.
But yeah, I remember I went and saw it with some friends, and we were like, "This is nuts!" And then we had to go see it again because it was weird, and you didn't really understand it because again, it's not a great movie. And then personal,
Cameron, what'd you think
personal.
about it?
So, we've ranted about this before.
Many
but
times.
to speak into what you're talking about, the reason you need to see it again, they do something with new things, which is bombardment. This film bombards you with new concepts to the point where you cannot process them while watching them, and then you get tricked into not realizing that it's not a good film until you go, because you can't focus on the story the first time you're watching
True.
it.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. It is a beautiful film.
That's why the land works.
And and there's just all these new concepts that they're throwing at you. Communicating through hair. There's a magic tree for some reason. Robots with knives we won't get into. But like they just throw all this stuff at you, and by the end of the film,
There's
you're
a
just
lot
kind
of
of like,
imagination.
yeah.
Yeah.
So by the time you actually go the second or third time, then you finally realize, oh, bad story, not the point though. And then, but then time is not kind to it. So now we look at
Which is why you have to see it in theaters, and for those of us that saw it on home theaters first,
Yeah.
it didn't connect at all
Gotcha.
because it's just
No.
like no 3D, no like. By the time we saw it, the technology wasn't new.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, okay.
And
I
you
don't
see
get
how
it.
quickly that goes, because you go back and we watched it 6 months
The
ago.
only movie
No,
that's
this
held
was like
up
a year and a half ago.
for any like for that type of
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
The
because it
only
was a
one.
combination of practical and
To
CG
say,
that worked
it's
together.
practical.
So, last question of the night. Avengers Endgame is now the #1 film of all time. 1, does it deserve it? 2, how long does it last? Quick answers, go.
Deserve it, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, and how long do you think it holds its mantle?
I don't know.
See, I don't think episode 9 is going to beat it.
Oh, definitely.
No.
No.
I don't think anything in the current Phase 4 is going to beat it
That we know.
that we know, unless they're able to pull off another Endgame by the end of this.
Which, based on some Kevin Feige interview comments, I don't think that's.
Yeah, and that's
It
that's
doesn't even
unlikely.
seem like it's
Well,
part
because
of it.
they said there's no Avengers, and he's already talking about Phase 4 is literally up through 2021.
Yeah.
And then Phase
It's-
5 is next.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's short.
So I think the question is, do
Well, it
we
wouldn't
live
be
in an
till, like,
era
6
where
or
there can be
7
enough
anyway.
hype around something like that without revelation of the internet
Yeah.
that will earn it? Because the arc that Endgame ended was one of the last great spanning before readily accessed internet material. I don't know if we're going to be able to have a spectacle film like that ever again. So I don't think the question is whether there's going to be a film that beats it. I think the question is how long until another medium surpasses it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that any movie's gonna do it again unless
Unless
Marvel finds a way. I could see Marvel somehow doing it again in another 10 years.
Yeah.
They've taken what they already have and doubled it to
I think
something
that's the
even
answer.
bigger.
Yeah.
And they come out with Avengers 8 and it's
and then RDJ signs on for a cameo. Or, yeah, something.
he comes back as a Force ghost or something, and it's just
Stupid.
you know.
I would watch it.
So, Bailey, the answer is 10 years is our prediction.
My prediction: November of 2021, Avatar will get re-released in theaters and bridge the gap of $5 million.
That is possible too.
Yeah.
That is possible
That's
too.
very
Because it's
Especially
literally
as
like a weekend release away from being beat again.
Yeah.
and then they can lead into the sequels.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, you might
Because
be
it's been
right.
long enough that
All right,
people
we're
are
gonna-
like, what's Avatar?
We're gonna go with that for now. And
kids.
Write it down, Bailey.
I don't
So,
like that. That makes me
Re-release
sad.
of Avatar is our
Makes me
first
real
guess.
sad. We're gonna have to try to
I don't
figure
like
out
that anymore.
if
Yeah.
we can rent out a theater for Avatar for all of the Geeks Corner fans
Yeah.
that want to join. Have a mostly empty theater, and I'm just going to scream at the entire
We
film.
will sit in the front row the whole time.
We're gonna Mystery Science Theater 3000 it. It's gonna be so good.
Please.
Can I be Tom Servo? Can I be Tom Servo?
Always.
Cool. Thank you.
Not already.
Did the
I
thing.
dinged it.
You did ding it. Sorry, my Pavlovian senses have not kicked in yet. We're trying to be smoother. It's not working. You should go to thegeekscorner.com to see other examples of times that we were not smooth at all. There are several.
Every week.
Quite a few. You should at dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Subscribe to our mailing list and find our Patreon.
And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss any other of these wacky videos, along with college band videos this summer, D23 Expo videos, and a whole lot more. We've got a bunch coming. While you are on the internet, hop over to your phone instead. Get on Instagram. Follow Nathan Hatton at Nathan Hatton for Instagram, because that's where you will find him on the interwebs, and you can find all of his interesting things. And if you want to dig deeper, just search for him on YouTube. You'll have fun.
He exists in the ether.
Does that work?
Is that okay to say?
Yeah, there's a couple
There's
things
a couple
out there.
things, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the time we have for you this week. We hope you have an absolutely fantastic week, and we look forward to seeing you around the corner.
Bye.
Bye.